I'm really excited to try this. Launching in 3, 2, 1. There you are, welcome back. Recently, I want to talk about another machine really quick, the Anycubic Viper. Now you've seen that a few times here on the show.
Making the pizza, making the pie, chopping the onions, making me cry. Isn't that a song?
And what was really great about it is it introduced a new way of leveling the bed. You used just the tip of the nozzle. Let's see, the last time you may have seen that printer here is probably over on TikTok, where I drilled out a nozzle and extruded a toothpaste-sized bead of filament onto the bed. It was a lot of fun.
I honestly didn't think this was going to work.
Now, a new snake appears. In the Cobra Max, right here. It's bigger, it looks familiar, and the prints are, well, let's talk about it. Before we talk about the prints, we should probably talk about what it took to get it out of the box. And surprisingly, super easy. It was packed really well, lots of foam cushion around it. Each of the screws on the machine had to be tightened about a half a turn, each one of them for some reason. And get this, large format machine, 100 grams of filament. Come on, Anycubic. Getting it all together was pretty easy. The cables over on the side where the spool holder are, a little bit messy. I would have rather had those cleaned up just a little bit. And the frame is rigid, super rigid, easy to assemble. All right, it's assembled, and I wanted to get a first print done. I turned it on, not too loud. Leveling went great. Filament loading, not a problem. And then I put the SD card into the slot, and lo and behold, nothing. There was nothing on the SD card. Well, I verified on my PC, the SD card was full of stuff. The Cobra Max just couldn't see it for some reason. And I thought, oh no, a lemon for a review. That wasn't the case. What I had done is put the SD card into the slot on the screen. The screen contains an SD card slot, I would imagine, for future upgrades, updating firmware, stuff like that. The SD card slot that the printer pays attention to is actually on the front of the 3D printer itself. And once I put the SD card in there, there we go. I could see everything I needed to on the screen. I chose the OWL G-code because that's the test print. And the OWL G-code printed. And the OWL G-code, well, it was a success. The OWL turned out great. Well, the first print is out of the way. Let's talk about specs. The Cobra Max is 400 millimeters on X, 400 millimeters on Y, and 450 millimeters on Z or Z. There's two belts on the Y axis going to a single motor that has a double shaft. Z or Z is also powered by two motors and two lead screws. There's belt tensioners on X and both belts on Y. These rods in the back really support the frame and keep it nice and rigid. It's a Bowden-style extruder that takes the filament to a hot end that has a 0.4 millimeter nozzle that'll go to 260C. That nozzle is going to spit out filament onto a carborundum glass bed that'll go up to 100C. It's got a 32-bit board with TMC 2209 stepper drivers, meaning the motor movements are quiet. It's got filament detection, it's got power loss recovery, and it's got auto bed leveling via nozzle touch. Where have we seen that before?
Making the pizza, making the pie.
Right out of the gate, I wanted to print something big. And I loaded models into Cura, which I used for slicing. And I sliced, I put on the SD card, I printed, and it was shocking how easy it was to get there and how good of a job it was doing. The auto bed leveling just works. The first layers were consistently good across the prints that I was doing, and in fact, the rest of the layers in the prints looked really good as well. Extrusion from the machine was consistent. In fact, it was consistent over multi-day print jobs. And these weren't just singular piece print jobs, these were print jobs where the models contained multiple pieces, or the models themselves were articulated, where the pieces connected. Everything I was printing on this machine in PLA turned out great. We were able to throw some TPU into the machine and give that a try, and it was able to print the TPU fairly well, but the carborundum glass bed held onto that TPU a little bit too well, causing the model bottom to rip off. Poor Fred the Frog. There is one model I want to highlight from this machine. It's the print in place steam engine from user Print in Place Fun over on Colts 3D. So I got a Twitter DM from Stefan over at CNC Kitchen. And he said, "Hey Joel, I'm surprised I haven't seen any big prints on your channel lately. Winky smiley face. Here's one I think you should try." And it was this steam engine by user Print in Place Fun over at Colts 3D. He thought I should scale it up, and he told me if I had any issues in doing that to reach out and let him know because he'd like to help. Well, sure enough, yes, please. I think this is a great idea. So I scaled the model to 450%, which is what you see here. And I decided to print it on the machine. And the machine was great. It took the model, slightly rotated just so I could print everything. Adhesion was there. Everything worked. I was so impressed. One thing that I forgot to take into consideration is when printing models that are scaled up, the clearance between print in place parts also scales with the model. So, normally at 100% scale, your breath can power this, but at 450% scale, it just doesn't work. There's too much space in between the pieces, and so the air escapes where it shouldn't. Stefan did say to reach out if I needed some help, so I did. I told him about what I was doing and the problems I was having. In fact, I said we should probably maybe use XY compensation just to bring the clearances close together. Stefan was like 999. Here's what I'll do. I will edit the STL for you. So he took the STL, made some changes, and gave it back to me. And what he did was scaled it to 450% and then adjusted the clearances. So all of the gaps in the model and between all the print in place parts had a 0.5 millimeter gap. Brilliant.
That was bloody brilliant.
Of course I printed that out. What are you thinking? The Cobra Max did a fantastic job again. And if you look at the tops of the model, you can tell that the clearance here is much better than the original 450% scale model. Now we just have to see if my breath can power it. Not so lucky. Well now, hold on. I have an idea. So what I need is a more continuous flow of air in order to power this steam engine. And so what I have is a shop vac, and I have the hose plugged into the outlet. And if I turn it on, we should be able to get continuous air that should power this. I do want to try the original model first, so let's give that a try. I'm just going to use my hand to form the gasket here. Okay, original model in 3, 2, 1. Nothing.
You get nothing.
The issue being there's just too much clearance between the print in place parts, so the air escapes where it shouldn't. But now, what should happen is the print in place parts work as they should because the clearance between all of them has been changed to 0.5 millimeters. And the Anycubic Kobra Max was able to print all those pieces without fusing them together. And I'm really excited to try this. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Well, that was fun. As you know, I try to have a lot of fun with my 3D printer reviews, but it's not all unicorn farts and rainbows. There's always going to be something that manufacturers have to address, and here is what I think Anycubic needs to do. My Cobra Max has squeaky bearings. My Anycubic Viper has squeaky bearings. I don't know if squeaky bearings are just a product of something that Anycubic is doing, but stop, please. I don't want any more machines with squeaky bearings. It's awful, it's annoying, and if you can stop that, please. The nozzle touch way of auto bed leveling is fantastic. And across a large print surface, It's amazing. When adjusting the offsets, Anycubic gives you 0.05 increment levels, and I think you need to be more granular when you're doing this. And so Anycubic, I would suggest changing it to 0.01 millimeters. I think that would be a little bit better. The carborundum glass bed held on to everything I threw at it. Sometimes a little too much. You saw with the TPU how Fred the Frog had its bottom ripped off and it held on to TPU really, really tight, almost like a relative during the holidays who gives you a hug and doesn't want to let go. Wonderful! But even PLA prints were tough to get off this build surface, even when it was cooled down. In fact, one of the prints, when it was cooled down, ripped a chunk of the bed off of the bed. I couldn't believe it. For large print volumes like this, what we need is a consistent, somewhat easy print removal process. And it could be that we just need to put an interface layer down on the carborundum glass, or even better, have a flex plate for this machine from the factory. I guarantee you, no one wants to remove build plate size prints by having to slowly lift up on the edges using a scraper. This machine from the factory should come with a flexible plate to put on the bed. Obviously, not everybody's going to want to go to a third party to get a flexible bed for this machine. I understand it. And the carborundum glass holds onto things really well, and so you might want to keep it. And if you do, what I would suggest is using some sort of build adhesion helper as an interface layer, something that provides a little bit of a layer between the print and the bed that reduces the stick and lets you remove it easier. Finally, Cobra Max, the name. Now look at this machine. It's just a bigger Viper. Anycubic, you know this. I know this. Everybody watching knows this. The Cobra Max is not a bigger version of the Cobra that's been released at the same time. The Cobra Max is just a bigger Viper, minus the flexible build plate. But I don't care. It's just the name. I just care about how it prints. And it prints really well.
Yes.
Right out of the box and no tweaking, prints looked great. Multi-day prints looked great. Multi-piece prints looked great. Articulated prints looked great. It did a really good job. So if you want a Cobra Max and you're shopping on Amazon, it's going to be $599 USD. If you want a Cobra Max and you want to pay less, you can go to the Anycubic official store, you can go to AliExpress, or you can go to eBay, and I'm told the prices there will be $539 USD. Is it worth it? I honestly think so. It's easy to put together, the assembly took nothing, it's rigid, it prints well, multi-day prints print well. It took very little tweaking. It's easy to use. The only gotcha on this machine is the print bed surface, and that can be mitigated. I think this is a good value for what it provides. Well, that's my review of the Anycubic Kobra Max. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more, fight for a cause you believe in, print all the big things, and as always, high five.